Well, hi Stampers, it's Jackie Ballheis coming to you from Zeeland, Michigan. My website is klompenstampers.com, and I am here today with another Stamping Made Simple card. You know me, it's all about making this quick and easy and simple. The card I have today is super fun, and we are blending old with new. How many of you guys have, oh, wrong one, have Lovely as a Tree? Believe it or not, this is the oldest stamp set in the entire catalog. It has been around since, I can't remember, back in the 90s sometime, but it's a staple. And then this year, we got this gorgeous Rooted in Nature stamp set. I'm so excited that they kept this one because they really blend together really well. Now, we're talking masculine cards today, which is always hard for everybody. And we're going to make a sympathy card. So a masculine sympathy card. Two things that are really hard for me, sympathy cards and masculine cards. So I hope you like the project I have to share with you today and you see how easy it truly is. So let's go ahead, flip the camera down so that I can show you our project. So here's our card that we're making. And as you can see, I'm blending old with new. This tree in the background is from Lovely as a Tree, and these ones up front here are from the brand new set, Rooted in Nature. So we've used both of them and they go together so well. I'm also using one of the new colors, Shaded and Spruce. To me, it was just natural on that one. So let's go ahead and get started. And I have a ton of tips that I'm going to be sharing with you throughout making this whole card. So make sure you watch all the way to the end because I think you're going to learn a lot today. So first we have the stamp set here from Lovely as a Tree, and it's just the big, we'll call it a spruce tree. And I'm gonna go ahead and ink it up in Shaded Spruce. Okay, this is one of the brand new ink pads, brand new colors. But once I've inked it up, I like to have kind of two tones in my trees because they're not all green, there's some brown. So I have my early espresso marker here, and we're gonna use the thick end, the brush tip on it. And after I've inked this in Shaded Spruce, we're going to go right over it with this color. And I'm going in the center here. You can kind of see the trunk of the tree, putting it right over that green. It's not gonna hurt anything. We'll even do, come out a little bit here, get a little bit of these branches, but get some good brown in there. Dab it in there good. Make sure that color takes and kind of overtakes the our spruce color, so to speak. So once we get that all on there, I am gonna go ahead and take my piece of cardstock. Let's see what we have here. It is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And we're gonna first stamp it kind of over here to the left, and we're gonna give it a nice good stamp. And we're gonna stamp it one time, and then we're gonna move it down and over a little bit, stamp it a second time, and notice I'm not re-inking. And then I'm gonna come over here and let's even go a third time on this one. And by not re-inking it in between, that's how you can get several shades of these and also create some depth. But can you see how we've got the brown going and a little bit on our tree? So it's just not so flat by having just the single green color. So let's set that aside. And then we're going to grab the stamp from Rooted in Nature, which is also a pine tree, and we're going to essentially do the same thing. I just have a piece of scrap Whisper White, and we're going to ink our stamp up in Garden Green. You know, when you look out into the forest or any place you see trees, there's lots of different greens going on. And I'm just totally in love with mixing and matching all these great greens that we now have. But same thing, we inked it up with that Garden Green, and then we're going to go ahead and make sure we get some, good spots with this early espresso. Kind of dab it on here. We want that trunk nice and brown. And we'll go ahead and we'll stamp it on our scrap paper. And again, we're going to go 2 times. So there's 1 time and there's our 2nd time. So again, once again, we got some different shades. Then we're going to take the framelit that coordinates with the Rooted in Nature set, which I'm thrilled about. I love framelits. And we're going to go ahead and put that on there, and we're going to cut both of these trees out using our Big Shot. There we go. We've got our 2 trees. So let's just set those aside. And we're going to just kind of make lots of parts and pieces here. So I have another scrap of Whisper White. And this time we're going to take our Thinking of You that is also in Nature's Poem. And we'll use the Early Espresso ink. So we have all the colors that are coordinating here for us. Ink that up good because it's a nice big bold stamp. And this is just a scrap, so we're gonna stamp it on there, get a nice image. And then we're also gonna use the image that says, be strong. I can't remember. Oh, be you, be happy, be strong. And we're gonna just go ahead and stick that right there. And we're actually just gonna cut out the be strong part of that. So let's set this stuff aside. I have my snips here, and I'm going to just use this to cut out thinking of you. Now this has kind of been my little craze, I guess, lately. But when you cut out words like this, don't feel like you have to go exactly following the letters. You know, if you do, I call it a little zigzagging here, just kind of around, and we'll go around and come down. You know, nothing's perfect. Notice how I am turning this paper. Then when we get a big piece like that, I snip it off. But I'm turning the paper with my left hand and just kind of moving it as I cut. So we'll go around there and just keep on going. There, nothing's perfect. Just go around them and get as close as you can, but make sure you leave a nice white edge all the way around those words so you don't cut into them at all. And then out of this piece, we're going to cut the be strong. So like I said, we're going to make a sympathy card here. And it's a masculine sympathy card. You know, we need those too, and they're kind of hard to make. Okay, set those two pieces aside. Now the next thing we're going to do is grab our, I think it's called hardwood, embossing folder. Now this is one of the dynamic ones, so it is really thick, and when you use this, you use one less of your cutting plates because the folder kind of makes up for it. And I'm going to run the piece that I've already stamped these trees on to get the wood look on it, just to add some texture to my card here. I think you can see that in the camera. It's very subtle, but it adds a lot. Now, when you're using embossing folders, one side of them will always have the Stampin' Up! Logo like you can see right here. This is technically the top or the up side. So when you put your cardstock in here and you have this up, your cardstock is going to be raised. Okay, it's kind of hard to explain, but it'll raise up here. The back then is more just indented. Now, because I want this so subtle, I want it to actually be indented and not raised. So I'm going to flip it over so it's, I guess, technically upside down. Let's see, and we want, let's see, we want them going up and down. So we're going to go like so. So I'm going to just stick it in there, and I'm going to go run it through the Big Shot. Now we'll see if you can see this on the camera, but this here, it's indented, okay? So it's smooth and all these lines are indented, where when we flip it over, this is raised up, and that's what I was talking about. So this is technically the top, but I wanted it a little bit more subtle. I'm a little crooked on there, but that's okay. It'll be just fine. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this, and the next thing we're going to do is adhere the thinking of you on there. I'm not using dimensionals on this because I want this down there smooth. So we just used a little bit of that multi-liquid glue that I use all the time. Okay, stick that on there. Now the next thing, these trees that we cut out. And I just kind of figured out where I wanted them. I want the stems hanging off so everything is just kind of up onto that the layer here, and we're going to use the mini dimensionals. Okay, you know me, I'm the dimensional freak, but these trees are so small that the mini ones work perfect. You probably are going to put, probably 6 or so on here. There we go, and then we'll just peel these off. And then we're going to stick this tree over here to the left, kind of figure out where you want it so you can see those other trees coming through behind it. And then we'll do the same thing with the darker one. Okay, and then we'll stick this one, make this one go up a little bit higher to give us some depth. And let's go about right there with that one. Now you'll notice my trunks are sticking off the edge, which is what I wanted. And then I'm going to just flip this over and trim them off so they're even with the layer. And there we go. And then we got one other piece, our Be Strong. We're going to put just a tiny bit of adhesive. Remember, with this adhesive, very, very little bit is all you need. It's a tiny piece, it's hard to switch around there. And we're going to go ahead and stick this down here at the bottom. So there's the front layer of our card. I just stuck it onto a piece of early espresso that was 1/8 bigger on each side. Now I'll have all the measurements listed in my blog post for this, so you'll be able to refer to that. Not only the measurements, but a list of all the products that I used. And then on the inside, I just put a 4 by 5¼ inch layer. I did another tree. Now this is another one from Lovely as a Tree. So this is where we're marrying the two different stamp sets. And then I was kind of digging through and I found this greeting was in a stamp set called Better Together. And it worked absolutely perfect for my card here because it kind of coordinated with everything. And again, I'll have all of these things listed in the blog post. But there you go. It's a Stamping Made Simple card. I think it's very pretty, it's very masculine, and it's great for a sympathy card. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask. I use quite a few different products here, but it was a simple card. So what do you think? Do you have Lovely as a Tree? I bet you do, because I know a lot of people do. Go ahead and purchase Nature's Poem to go with it. You're going to love it and all the different ways that you can intertwine the two stamp sets. It's also a great stamp set that I have a ton of cards to share with you. Check today's blog post because I'll share several other cards with you besides this one, along with details and recipes for those as well. And then I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you're looking to purchase Stampin' Up! Products, I'll have a Shop Now button there. Nature's Poem in the bundle. When you buy it with the Thinlits, you get 10% off of it. And don't forget about my brand new rewards program. Make sure you use the rewards host code and you'll get Stampin' Reward cards that you can turn in for free products. So once again, my name's Jackie Ballheis. I love Stampin' Up! I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 23 years now, and I love to help you make quick and easy cards. So let me know if you have any questions at all. And if you need the brand new 2018 Stampin' Up! Catalog, let me know. I'd love to send you one. So until I have another video for you and I get to stamp with you again, have a stamp happy day.